All right, welcome Unsecurity Podcast listeners. This is episode 164 of the Unsecurity Podcast. The date is Friday, February 11th. You'll hear this sometime after that. Joining me is my good friend and, I don't know, just good friend, Brad Knight. Brad,
Good morning, Evan. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Still in paradise. So I don't think I'm ever coming back.
Yeah, it's blustery today.
Straight. Yeah.
The wind is insane right now.
Everybody leaves the house here on tomorrow, actually. So I'll be here by myself for most of the week, probably.
That's dangerous.
It would be if so there's three things that always, if the three things are true, I'm going to get in trouble. One is um, I'm bored, time on my hands, and I'm alone.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I won't have any time on my hands, that's for sure. I have a lot of work to do.
okay. That's good.
Yeah. What I will end up doing is probably working 20 hours a day next week, which will be good. I love that because I can get shit done.
You're insane.
I am insane. There's truth to that. Yeah. All right. So
Uh,
this is episode 164, and we tried recording this last week. So for followers and listeners who listen regularly, this was supposed to be um, released last week, but we
yeah,
had
it's
scheduling
supposed to be
issues to
straight.
begin with, and then technical issues down here in Mexico where my upload of my recording went sideways somehow.
Oh well.
Right?
It was a live practice, so it should be just knocked out of the park this time.
Right? Yeah. So set your expectations high. We're getting fiber down here at this house in probably the next 3 weeks. So we shouldn't have any more bandwidth issues after that. Let's hope.
That's good.
I've never had Mexican fiber. I don't know if that's different than American fiber, but we'll find out.
Well, as long as it's consistent, that's the important part.
Well, it is, and just the limited bandwidth. So here in at this house, and we've got the best plan you can get here from a company called Telmex or Telcel. They're the same company. Um, 15 meg down and about 1.5 to 2 up on a good day.
Yeah, that's pretty tight.
Hmm. So for Americans who have fiber to the house with near gigabit speeds up and down, don't take that for granted.
Yeah, yeah, that's brutal.
Right? And what do you get at your house? What's your typical bandwidth?
That's funny. I'm just testing it right now to see what it is. Uh, Looks like around 500 up or down, and it's doing the upload right now. 60, 50, 60 up.
So your ADSL getting 500 down, 50, 60 up.
Yeah, 500 down. 490 down and 40 up is what it finished at. So
Yep, what I wouldn't give for some of that, my brother.
it's nice.
It's nice, right? Yeah, it's very frustrating. I love everything about this place. I love everything. This is heaven on earth for me, except for the bandwidth. It's
Yeah.
so frustrating.
Oh, I can imagine.
So anyway,
Yeah.
that'll be nice too next week. The house being empty, at least I get all 15 meg down. Yay me.
True. True. You don't have to kick everyone off.
I know. I blacklist everybody every time I get on to something like
Block
this.
list. Ah,
Well, it actually I say blacklist because in this app, in the
oh,
TP
it
Link
still
app, it
says
is
that.
still saying
All right.
blacklist. Yeah, I did.
Darn it. I was hoping I could catch you like you caught me the other day.
Yeah, because can you see it?
Okay.
Yeah, isn't that weird? It still
Huh.
says blacklist, but whatever.
Yeah, you'd think they'd update that.
Yeah, yeah, you would. All right, so we've got four things to talk about today in the show. We've got first, we're going to talk about hacks and hops, and then we'll get into the CISSP mentor program. Give people an understanding what that is. If you haven't signed up, you got time, but we don't kick it off till April. We'll talk about the CvCISO program, which I'm pretty excited about. That's what's consumed 90% of my work time the last few weeks. And then we'll talk about what we expect, given the current world situation, what do we expect for the rest of 2022?
Yeah,
Sound like a plan?
I'm excited.
Sounds like
Let's do it.
yeah, let's do it. All right, hacks and ops. Let's do it. Hacks and ops. What do you know?
Yeah, October 6th, Nissan Stadium in Nashville. There you
Nissan
go.
Stadium. Is that where the the Titans play?
I think so.
All right.
Yeah. You can go to hacksandhops.com, register. Let's see if it's open yet. It's opening soon. So just check, keep an eye on that. There's not a whole lot of uh, confirmed details on there right now, but I know that, mental health hackers on there. They're going to be speaking. The sponsors are Arctic Wolf, Locked In, Mental Health Hackers, Astra, Red Canary. So it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it should be, man. So the 2021 Hacks and Hops was originally planned for this same location, uh, and
Same time.
yeah, the same time. And I was really excited about that because I was going to ride my Harley down from Minnesota to Nashville. I thought that'd be a really fun ride.
Hmm.
So when they, went to virtual, because, there was still so much uncertainty then. So I appreciate, management's call to do what they did.
Yeah.
We went virtual, and that 2021, last year's Hacks and Hops was one of the best, and I'm biased, I get it, but it was one of the best conferences that I have attended. All I did in that, last year's Hacks and Hops was do the opening, 15 minutes, right, to introduce people. But then we had folks from the Secret Service. We had a lot of our sponsors, right? Mental Health Hackers
Yeah.
was there.
Really, really good material. Like, it, none of it. I think what made it different, and all of them that but the talks are not salesy.
Right.
It's just, here are the facts.
Yeah, and what did we have? How many people attended last year? Was it? It seemed like it was 1,000-ish or more.
I think so. 700 to 1,000, somewhere in there. I don't truly know.
Yeah. Well, the marketing team did a great job positioning it. I love, how our marketing team operates. Marketing in the information security industry is dirty. I think, I read some of the things I read and I just feel dirty. I go to some of these conferences and I feel dirty. I feel like I have to shower afterwards.
Right.
But our marketing team,
Yeah.
I love the way they market with integrity. And the event it wasn't salesy. It was, all right, if you're going to dedicate or devote some time to this, uh, let's make it valuable for you. And I think they really hit it out of the park last year.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, and what I love about, working with them is they come to us and say, hey, can you read this? Can you sign off on this before we publish it? We'll make sure we're not speaking out of turn.
Yeah.
And that's not always the case. So yeah, they're fun to work with too,
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome.
which is rare.
Well, it is rare, man, because, like I said, I think marketing is a tough enough job, even if you have to market dirty. But when you have to market with integrity, uh, it is harder because you really need to be careful about the words you're saying, right? If you're making some kind of wild ass promise that just isn't true or doesn't fit with the mission, it's not going to get said. But I think on the other side, I think it helps with their reputation, and maybe it's starting to get easier for them to market this way because it's different than everybody else.
Yeah, I would agree. Once you figure out how to do it correctly, it's like we always say, mission before money.
Mhm.
People notice that.
Yeah, I think at first they think you're full of crap,
Yeah,
and then they see, oh wait, you actually back this up. You actually are, you're actually doing it.
right.
Takes a little time.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've had somebody say that as a customer to say, I wasn't sure. It sounded good, and then 6 months in, they're like, okay, we're convinced.
Yeah. All right. You're not lying. I got it. Well, that, and speaking of lying, I mean, that's our number one core value, right? Number one core value is we tell the truth, period.
Yep.
And that is a hire. Well, we hire on that, and we fire on that too.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
All right, so Hacks and Hops, October 6th, 2022, Nissan Stadium, Nashville, Tennessee. It will be live. I'm excited to be there. Registration isn't open yet. When you click the registration link, which will be taken to is the YouTube recording of last year's Hacks and Hops, so you can go watch that if you want.
Totally worth it.
It is, man. And one of my favorite speakers is Mike Pinky Thompson, FRSecure's blue team. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I love his
We were
teaching.
laughing. Everybody that knows him calls him Pinky. That's just who he is. And like we were laughing because we were talking about it in the all company meeting. We've had so many new people. We're like, he goes, I bet they're wondering who Pinky is.
Right? Yeah, that's his nickname.
All the salespeople are like, who?
How did he get that nickname, by the way? Do you know?
Yes.
Okay,
It's not anything bad. I think if I remember correctly, at one of his jobs, he went in on his first day of work with like kind of a pink salmon colored shirt, and somebody called him Pinky, and it just stuck.
got it. That makes sense.
I'm pretty sure it's been a while since he told me, but I'm pretty sure that was what it was.
That's cool. So for those of you who are counting, it's funny. You go to hacksandhops.com and you'll see 236 days, 22 hours, 8 minutes, 7 seconds. So
Yep.
it's not like we're not counting. And what there is to expect, they do have some semblance, 6 topics, 10 speakers, 1 track. They're expecting 400 plus in person joining us in Nashville. An expert panel with brunch and their RCP credits available.
Yep. It's going to be fun.
It is.
I'm really hoping we get everyone down there and
Wow.
have some normalcy.
Yeah, I'll be down there. I got, I think Ariel reached out to me and Marla, my assistant, yesterday, the day before, making sure that gets blocked off in the calendar. So I'm excited.
Nice.
And good
Yeah,
barbecue,
this is fun.
Martin's barbecue.
I'm excited to get some barbecue with you again.
Oh, yeah.
Although I don't know if I could handle the Buffalo trip of barbecue 5 nights in a row.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was so good, though.
That was a great trip, man. Lots of good memories on that one. All right. Well, and so the next thing we want to talk about. So again, Hacks and Hops, go check it out. Everybody's invited. It'll be a lot of fun. And just a disclaimer too. Martin's Barbecue is not a sponsor of the show. We don't have any sponsors of the show, so we just think it's awesome.
Yep.
The other one, the CISSP Mentor Program. Man, every year I get jacked about this. We started this program in 2010 with 6 students. Here we are 12/13 years later, and we're expecting close to, if not more than 10,000 registrations. Last year we had 6,000, more than 6,000 registrations.
I know last Monday, so we're 2 weeks from then, we were already at 2,200
That's awesome.
people registered, and that was just organic. They hadn't pushed any marketing or notifications or anything yet.
And I love this. So, there's so many reasons why I love this. One, you're contributing to people's livelihoods, to their careers, without any strings attached. I don't want anything in return. If I do want anything in return, I want you to get more people to come enjoy what we're trying to do, right? Make this community happen.
Yep. Yeah, it's, I think it's hard enough coming up in the industry. I wish I'd had some mentors when I was, younger that could have helped. So yeah, let's fix this stuff.
Yeah, I love it. So this is what, your 6th year, right?
Yep. This will be my 6th.
And so for people who don't know the history, and what it is, first of all, what it is we teach you everything you need to know to pass the CISSP exam. For people who aren't interested in the CISSP exam, we'll explain it in a way that it should make sense to non-technical, non-security people, right?
Oh yeah, we've had lots of management C-level people that will never take it that have reached out and said that really helped me be better because now I understand much more what they're saying.
That's awesome.
They've never had any intention of taking it.
Yeah, I love that. And we've had students come multiple years. It's not, there's really, truly no strings attached, no prerequisites. It's come one, come all, and we bring it. Uh, and so we teach you everything you need to know to pass the CISSP exam, but then we also bring it to you in a non-academic manner, right? We are all practitioners. We've done this for years, so let us share some of the wisdom we've learned over the years.
That's that's the big thing. We're not reading out of a book. We have talking points on a slide, but you're going to hear. You can listen to the previous ones. It's going to be, hey, here's what you need to remember. Here's how I remembered it. Hey, here's a real world example of this. It's not just you know verbatim out of a book where you're going to just listen to somebody read to you.
Exactly. Yeah. Read to me again, Uncle Brad.
Yeah, well, it's painful enough. Some of those are painful enough.
Uh-huh. So if you want to know how to register, registration is open. You can go to FRSecure.com. From the home page, you'll see a Learn drop-down menu, and right there is the CISSP Metro program. The full
It's got
URL.
links to last year's.
What's that?
Yep. Oh, it's got all the links to last year's up there. You can listen to them,
Yep,
get a head start.
absolutely. Yeah, for the full URL is https://frsecure.com/CISSP-mentor-program. That'll take you to the program page, and there you'll find the place where you can register. There's a nice link there, the 2022 registration. Classes will start on April 9th. Classes run 2 nights a week, 2 hours, 2 nights a week, until we're through with the program, which I think is usually 7 or 8 weeks.
Yeah, something like that. It's like 13, 14 classes, but we do have some breaks in there.
Mhm.
Gives people a chance to get caught up because we know everybody has real world jobs and families and other commitments, so it's easy to miss a class and gives you a chance to get caught up. Um,
So,
you know, the other thing, we're not guaranteeing you're going to pass, right? Like, there's no guarantees, but like you said, Evan, we're going to do everything we can to give you the information you need to pass. It's up to you to study and make sure you understand it. We've had a couple people come back over the years and be like, "Well, I failed." I'm like, "Well, okay, sorry."
yeah,
They were like upset with us. I'm like, "Well, what do you want me to do?
yeah. Point
I
out,
can't take the test for you."
right, exactly. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It's not passing a certification exam, certainly the one like the CSP, isn't for everybody. Uh, we will cover all the material and we'll put it in a nice, relevant way. I think the overwhelming majority of things that we hear throughout the entire year are, "Hey, I passed. Couldn't have done it without you. It was,
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you." And
Oh, it's so nice to hear.
yeah, I mean, if there is such a thing as payment here, that's my payment. That's our payment.
Yep. I endorsed two people last month
Yeah,
that had listened to the last year's, and uh, from them, yes, that is a huge benefit, but you still have to know that material. I think the way I look at it is you should be studying that book and know it, but we're going to try and fill in some of those gaps, link those things that maybe you're struggling with, make it easier to remember things. But, I think that's how I approached it with when I was studying. Um, I studied, I read the Sean Harris book twice because I didn't have anybody to tell me what I should be doing. And then I found, actually, it was funny, it was on Cybrary. Uh, it was it was like 10 hours or something, but it was the same kind of approach. It connected so many things and kind of filled those gaps. And that's our approach is to, help you fill those holes that maybe make those connections you're missing.
Yeah, totally, man. The So the CSP mentor program again starts on April 9th. Cost is $0. One of the things that's new this year, we switched up two things. One, we're using the newest version of the book that we think is a good book. So we're updating content. Not that anything really changed in the domains, but you know, it's helpful to reference a new book. And then also we're inviting new instructors. So
Woohoo!
yeah, I know, right? So for the first 6 years, it was me teaching, and then you joined the the mission
Then
here 6 years ago.
was last was last year Ryan's first year?
No,
Yeah, right.
second.
Second. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
they
Ryan,
all blur together.
I know, right? So Ryan Cloutier joined 2 years ago, and now we've got we're finalizing, but I think we'll probably have two additional instructors this year because we do
That makes
want
it.
to make this part of maybe a perpetual thing. Right now, we've only done it every spring, but maybe we start
Right.
shifting from spring to fall, both.
Right, Spring. Yeah. Because we do get that request a lot.
Right.
Are you going to have another one? Oh, no.
Well, we can't because it's just too time consuming.
Yeah, yeah. Our families might disown us.
Right. But if you know, if I could, I would.
But
So there you
no,
go.
it's fun to do. I love getting those notifications like on LinkedIn where you get the shout outs from all the people that passed and they're like thanking you. It does make it worthwhile
Hmm.
to really put in that much of a commitment.
Well, it just we talked about it already. I mean, we say mission before money. Well, here's one place of many where the rubber meets the road. It,
Yep,
this is what we do.
100%.
So that's cool. All right. So the next thing on the agenda for today's podcast is to talk about the CvCISO program. I don't know if
Yeah,
most of our listeners may not have even heard about it. Uh,
yeah. I'm interested to hear some details there, Evan.
yeah, right. So the CvCISO stands for Certified Virtual Chief Information Security Officer. It's a program that we established, and this one we established it over at Security Studio for now. We may not always live there. We're going to do whatever's best for the mission, and the mission is to fix a broken industry, not to make money. Um, so the CvCISO program, there are two reasons for it. Number one, we need more VCSOs. VCSO is traditionally somebody who is a third party that you hire to act like your CISO, right?
Yep.
Primarily for small to mid-sized organizations, but there are some large organizations who also have VCSOs.
Yeah, I work with an international law firm that's huge, and they're on top of things, but they love having. It's almost like kind of a due diligence, right? It's a safety blanket. You're working with somebody who sees a lot more than what you see with head down day to day work. So
Exactly.
it brings that value, even for those larger companies that do have a dedicated security team.
For sure, for sure. And we've done VCSO where a company has a CISO, right? And a VCSO is
Mm-hmm.
really there to, I think, support, validate, a lot of the things that the CISO is doing,
Yep.
because we do see things from many other organizations, different perspectives, and I think there's a ton of value in that. But
Yeah. I was going to say the question I think I hear the most is whatever the topic is, what are you seeing other people doing?
right,
And that's what they're paying. That's why they have us there is because we do see what other people are doing, and we can provide that input, and then uh, you know tweak it and customize it to meet their needs.
exactly. So we started the program, and we're in the middle of the first course right now. Um, we want to solve two problems, and that's what I think all security people should be looking at is what problem am I trying to solve, and then try to figure out ways to solve it. So the problem here is we need more VCSOs, and I think more importantly than that, we need more quality. vCISOs. I've seen too many places, too many instances where I think vCISOs don't know what a vCISO is supposed to do, and I think the clients they serve don't know what a vCISO is supposed to do.
Yeah.
There are so many different techniques that are being employed. I think most of them, to be honest, are not providing the best
Well,
value to their clients.
I've heard many times from people looking for that VC. So, well, here's my fear. Here's what my experience was, and it's things like, well, I had a different person every call, or that the VC so had 50 customers they were serving. I'm like, well, how the heck can you
Right.
provide value if you're working with that many people?
Well, that's it. So we want to solve those two problems, and so we built a program uh, with 4 levels of certification. So the CvCISO level 1, 2, and 3, and then there's a CvCISO expert. There's also a specialization, which is the CvCISO mentor. So the way it works is you can be a certified vCISO with essentially zero experience. So we can reach those people coming out of college, reach those reach high school students for crying out loud. It doesn't really matter. You need to do really 2 things to become that CvCISO level 1. You need to attend the course successfully. So you have to complete the requirements of the course, and then you need to pass the exam. Now, people will be like, what do you mean zero experience? Well, here's the catch for a CvCISO level 1. You can't or shouldn't. We're not going to police it. We're going to expect the community to do so. But a CvCISO level 1 can't serve without a mentor. They
Makes sense.
they have no experience. They have the knowledge. They learned a whole bunch of stuff, and they know. But now they need to get that boots on the ground type of experience. And so that's where that CvCISO specialization, the mentor, comes in. Now level 2. Oh, go ahead, man.
I was going to say, so with that, would you consider that, and not the same, but on par with kind of like the Security Plus in terms of level of certification? It's an entry level,
Yeah,
getting started. You don't have to have 5 years experience like you do for CISSP or any of those.
sort of.
It's really just getting you in the door.
Sort of, but in order for us to provide real value behind the certification, like make it prestigious, so that one, I'm going to invest the time and effort to get it, and two, so that when a client hires a CvCISO, they know they're getting the best. They know that they're getting something worth getting. So, and I'm not saying Security Plus doesn't do that, but in order for us to really put our polish on it, uh, the course is pretty rigorous.
Much more. Okay.
It's 30 lessons, 2-hour lessons, 32-hour lessons.
That's significant.
Yeah, and we cover a boatload of materials, man. Um,
Okay.
we're in class 9 now, or lesson 9 of this first ever class, um, and we didn't even get to talking about anything technical until class 7, maybe 6.
Well,
So we're laying down things like roles and responsibilities. What does a vCISO do?
yeah.
How do we interact with uh, clients? It really foundational stuff. And then it's like, okay, here's some technical things.
Well, and the reality is the majority of what I do as a VC is not technical. Now, yes, am I consulting on technology? Yes,
Right.
but it's not going in and configuring, firewalls, or
No,
it's making the recommendations on how they should be configuring them. So you absolutely have to know the technology, but you're not getting dirty.
no, exactly. So level 1 is no experience, but you can't work with clients you can't work with them directly. You have a mentor. Level 2 is a certain level, a certain amount of experience in information security, a certain amount of experience with as doing vCISO work, and then really qualified to serve clients maybe up to 50 employees, something like that. Less complex environments, very simple.
Yeah,
Um,
makes sense.
and the level 3 is, in terms of experience, it's sort of on par maybe with the CISSP. Uh, but you have to take 3 additional courses. and complete them
Okay.
for the level 3. The first course is Information Security in Complex Environments. Is it applies differently when you've got different business units or different
Yeah.
um, affiliation. I mean, the larger an organization gets, the more complex it gets, the more you need to
Oh,
understand
competing
how to handle that.
interests and yeah. Yep.
So that's the first course. The next course in for a level 3 is communications. So how do you communicate
Woo.
effectively?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited about that
That's
one.
the biggest challenge I think we see,
Right,
right? You see people that are good at what they do but can't communicate it or are poor at it, not going to work.
right. And there's some simple tricks and things that we've learned over the years, myself and others that I work with, because just like I take ideas from other customers and clients, I also take ideas from other VCSOs, that are doing the work.
Oh,
What's working for them?
oh yeah, absolutely. I love getting suggestions from the team because they just have such a different take on things just because everyone's background is different, right? So
Yeah,
how they interpret it is going to be different. And so
yeah,
yeah, I love hearing those different opinions.
yeah. So that's the second class, communications. The third class in the level 3 is budgeting. How do we advise clients to spend their information security dollars as wisely as possible? How do we build a budget? How do we communicate a budget to executive leadership or a board of directors so that they know what they're getting for the dollars that are spent?
Right. And not brag it. Hey, our security budget is 2 million a year. Okay, what does that mean?
Exactly. Quantify that for me. Other than
Do you
dollars,
need
right? Give me the
right?
value.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
So that's level 3, and so I'm excited for that. Level 4 is everything it takes for level 3, and then you have essentially it's a panel interview. And so in that
Okay.
panel interview, you're going to interview with other level 4 CvCISOs. And it's not going to be a pissing contest type of interview. It's going to be two things we want to know and feel good about. One is the integrity of the CvCISO. Are you a person of integrity? Can we trust you? I mean, we want this to be like a real accomplishment. And so for those of us that poured our hearts and souls into being the best we can be, if we invite somebody into our community who doesn't have integrity, it hurts all of us.
Yep.
And the second thing we're really going to focus on is whether you will participate in the community. We want community people. We don't want, lone
It's like I just
rangers out there doing their thing and not feeding
no.
us.
You get better at your job hearing what other people say.
Yep.
I mean, is there a shortcut? Maybe I've seen something done way, and you're like, oh, well, that saves 4 hours and gets the exact same
Yep.
result. Yeah, I want to know that.
Totally. So the CvCISO, those are the 4 levels. Now the specialization is the CvCISO mentor, which essentially is the level 3 or above who has taken the mentor class and wants to be a mentor.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, based on that, kind of getting to excluding level 4 or specialty, sounds like probably level 2 is where people will spend the majority of time.
Yeah, that's true. Yep, that is true.
And then, because you got to get to that certain level of experience,
Mm-hmm.
and like what we said, you can't rush experience.
You can't. No. And the level 3s, so what we'll do, because out of the gate, not all courses are developed. So the people who have the experience necessary to be a level 3 will be grandfathered into level 3 with the understanding that they will complete those courses when they become available.
Nice.
So yeah,
Very
so
cool.
that's exciting. I think the cool thing about this was, having the unique perspective of being, I think, on both sides of the table before. I've hired VCSOs to do work,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been a VCSO. So I try to anticipate what the client would really want and find value in, and
Yeah.
what value I can provide as well. So you get to build this certification program from the ground up, and knowing what we know about other certification programs that we've seen in our industry, and try to the shortcomings of those, how do we tackle that? And
Well,
I'm not bad mouthing any of the certifications because I actually give them credit now that we're building our own. You do, you do the best you can, and it's not easy work. So
well, and this seems to be different than those other certifications,
it's
right? This isn't like CISSP or CISM where it's a specific kind of like guide. This is more life skill, business skills,
mhm.
which I don't know if I've seen anything like that. There's probably something out there. I'm not aware of it, but
Yeah, I'm excited, man. So we'll get through this first class. This first class ends end of March. Um, and then we'll start refining it. Taking the lessons that we learned in this first class. We intentionally kept this first class small. We have 20 students in this first class so that we can get that good feedback. Everybody can have a voice. Um, yeah, then we'll refine it, and then we'll keep on teaching. We'll try to get just do this perpetually. Because I think
yeah,
if we make it solid enough, qualified teachers can teach it. It won't have to be me. And we'll also create a textbook. So that book that you and I have been talking
mm-hmm.
about for a long time,
Yeah,
we were talking about the vCISO handbook. This is going to be end up being that.
very cool. Yeah, stupid pandemic.
Yeah, pandemic at work. I mean, people calling you and emailing you and stuff,
Yeah.
things.
I will say I talked to somebody that's taken the class and gotten good reviews other than your internet.
Yeah,
What are you gonna do? No,
yeah,
um, but good reviews from what I've heard.
good, good. We'll keep trying to make it better. So that's that. CvCISO. If you go to CvCISO.com, you'll find some information about what the class is. We didn't realize we had left the registration open, so we have people still signing up and paying us money. And so we've had to okay, the next class starts in April. Are you cool with that, or do you want your money back? And they're like, oh, okay, I'll wait. So that's that. And
Very cool.
the last thing is, wrap this thing up. We've got, what do we expect? So January's in the books. We've got 10 and a half months left of this year. What do we think? What do you predict for the rest of the year, man?
I think we're going to see more supply chain attacks.
Agreed.
More critical infrastructure attacks.
Agreed.
Right, try to create chaos.
Yeah, I agree, man. The world is as chaotic as I've ever remembered it in my 51 years on the planet. You've got Russia on the, right there, Ukraine, and they say any day that attack is inevitable, which is always, every attack gets some sort of reaction. Even a non-reaction is a reaction. And so China, the Taiwan, the Olympics, there's drama going on at the Olympics, you know, uh,
The pandemic isn't gone yet.
right? North Korea is, shooting
Yeah.
missiles all over the
So
place.
so many distractions right now that you got to be super vigilant.
Yeah, vigilant. Yeah, and that situational awareness. I mean, be in the moment. Let it what you're doing at this time. Put everything else out of your mind. Focus on what you're doing and the situation you're in.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to stay, head up everywhere. So to your point, the predictions for me for 2022 are there's going to be a lot more chaos. There's going to be a lot more ransomware attacks. Some of those, there'll be a lot of the ransomware attacks will be money motivated, but they'll be hidden by current events, right? So we'll slide in, hey, did you see the latest video of whatever, Ukraine, whatever, and people will be
Yep.
curious and be like, oh, I'm really interested in that, and there you go. So the money motivated attackers will up their game. They just have so many different topics to choose from and how they're going to get your attention. And state-sponsored attacks are definitely going to increase, and those will primarily be focused on infrastructure, like you were saying. Uh,
Yep.
we've been in a cyber war for a long time, and it hasn't really manifested itself physically in many places. But now that the war is also becoming physical, I think you're going to see the cyber war attacks bubble up as well.
Increase. Yeah, I would agree.
Some crazy times we live in, man. I think the best advice, like you said, be vigilant, um, pay attention. If you're not using stuff, I always, the theory is complexity is the worst enemy of security. So if you have things that you don't need, turn them off,
Yep.
get rid of them. You know, they're
Yeah.
just they're just making your life riskier, to be honest. All right, shout outs, my friend. What do you got?
Um, I was thinking about this the other day because I was like, oh, I need to think of a shout out, and I had one, and I can't remember what it was. So I'll just go with I'll go with Oscar. It's been a lot of fun working with him.
Good choice.
Spent a little bit more time the last 6 weeks working closer with him. Um, just reminds me what a good guy he is.
Yeah, awesome. Juan, I'm going to give a shout out actually to you, man. I've seen you, uh, you know, the last year or two, lots of ups and downs, a lot of drama. Not stuff that you brought on yourself, but with the pandemic and your kids, going to school, not going
Yeah,
to school, your
appreciate it.
transition, your transitions, and as our business has grown, your roles have changed, and I know it's been a struggle at times figuring out what's my role in this game now. And to see you navigate all those waters and see where you're at right now in terms of just you got your confidence back, you got your mojo back, and you know, give you all the credit, man. Good job.
Thank you.
Right on. All right, that's a wrap. We'll see you for episode 165 next week.